also known as Butch. And I was told to reduce my 5-page speech to 2. And then Bradley comes along and takes some of my lines away. Now I have to improvise, sort of. Well, I'd like to tell you about how Lauren started in Stockton and ended up in Southern California. When she was 4 years old, she started to take dance classes. At the age of 5, she entered a local dance contest. And she didn't place at all. You know how competitive she is, even at 5. And so, after the contest, she said, "What did I do wrong?" And I told her, or Lydia and I told her, explained to her, they have a different way of judging in Lodi, California. And well, a few weeks later, she entered a regional contest in San Jose. And she ended up winning first place prize at the age of 5. Woo! Well, I think that was the first time we noticed that she was a little competitive and determined. Just a little at that age. Well, she continued to take dance classes and then participating in recitals. And whenever she danced, she always seemed to have a smile on her face, like she was enjoying it. And this continued, and then when she entered high school, she switched to a dance studio up in Sacramento. This dance class that she became part of had a sink or swim approach. She either kept up with the competition and class, or they would drop her to a lower level. You know Lauren wouldn't like that. And so, even though it was a difficult class, she loved the challenge. When she was a senior in high school, she decided she wanted to enter Long Beach State because of their dance program. Well, she had to audition for that program, and they emphasized classic ballet. And of course, she didn't do that well. And later on, when she found out she was not accepted, she went to us and said to us in a very stern tone, "Why didn't you make me take more ballet classes?" And you know Lauren, if she doesn't want to do something, she's not going to do it. And so she came up with a backup plan. She would go to Sacramento State College and audition for the Sacramento Kings dancers. Well, she made that team, and everyone was saying, "Oh, you're a lock to make it next year." Of course, what happens is she didn't make it, and so she was disappointed, was a little down, but saying is, when you're down, you're not really out. And she went out to the Bay Area and auditioned for the Golden State Warriors. And that was when they weren't a very good team. and so she made that team and had a good time. And she was very popular among her friends and Curtis' friends because they were always calling up to ask for tickets to the Warriors or Kings game. Well, the next summer, in August, she said, "I'd like to transfer to Cal State Northridge." And we said, "Why?" "Well, I'd like to see what it was like trying out for the Los Angeles Lakers dance team." And so, why? And she said, "Well, I went down in June just to see what it was like during these tryouts." And she said, "Mom, Dad, it wasn't easy. It's more difficult than trying out for the Kings and Warriors." And those were the key words. Difficult and was not easy. So we thought, well, she probably didn't make the team. But then she says to us after a boss, "I made the team." And so that's how she went from a Northern California Valley girl to a Southern California Valley girl. And I guess, you know Lauren, she's competitive, determined, and likes challenges, and always has a backup plan. But she's also very loving and caring. After she returned from her first tour of Iraq with a USO group, she said to us, I want to go back again. And we said, why? Why? You know, because we were worried about her, you know, in that situation. She even texted Curtis, you know, don't tell Mom this, but the first night there was a rocket attack, and I hid under the table. Well, Curtis made the mistake and didn't remember to say loose lips sink ships, and he emailed that email to us. And of course, you know, what did we do? She's already over there to come back. Well, I said, well, then her explanation was going back to Iraq because she wasn't able to go to all of the military bases because of desert sandstorms. And so she went back, and the next year after, she also went to Afghanistan with another U.S. tour group. So we know Lauren is a determined person, competitive, and always has a backup plan. Another thing, though, is she's very loving and cares for other people a lot. And we also were concerned about her because of the business she was in. Would she ever find the right person to settle down with? And so when Lauren called us up and said, I want you to meet Ofir, she was really excited. Well, right away, Lydia made a long list of questions that we were supposed to ask Ofir after the dinner. Well, you know, I was already a little nervous about asking these questions. You know, we just met him for the first time. You can't put him on the spot like that. And so when the check came, unlike some of previous male friends of Lauren, he didn't ask to go to the restroom. I have to make a phone call, or I forgot to bring my credit card. He just grabbed the check. So I, for sure, could ask him those questions. Okay, where am I? And so we said maybe Ofir is the right person. And he is, because he's generous. He took that check on the first day. He's also very family-oriented and is a brave-hearted person, because he first had dinner with Lydia's side. That was no big deal. 6 people. Okay, he could handle it. All right, but then I mentioned, well, Lauren, you know, we're having a ready-in dinner party for my side of the family. Wouldn't it be nice if Ofir met the Kim side? She said, no way. That would be too overwhelming. And this is the brave-hearted part. Ofir told us he was willing to meet our side, at least 30 or more people. And so we tried to slip in quietly to the restaurant, but there's certain Kims that have a sense, there's new blood, or a new person might be added to the family. And so they swarmed around Lauren and Curtis like bees towards honey. And Ofir was really cool. He handled the situation real well. And so that's a big plus. Another big plus for Ofir, and what he brought to the family, was he has very, very, very calming influence on Lauren, except when she plays bunco. Then she gets out little things said. And so we know that when we see Ofir and Lauren together, they are very much in love. And so that list of questions, which I've held on to a long time, he's answered the first 2 questions with his actions. The first question was, what are your intentions? And the second big question was, are you going to marry her? And so he met those 2 he answered those 2 questions, so I'll just fill those questions out. Okay, you don't have to answer them. I'll go to the other spot. And so, I'd like to also thank Lydia for doing a wonderful job of raising Lauren. And I'd like to thank Mickey for raising such a fine son. Because without those two, these two wouldn't be together today, married. And one more thing, another thing that's important about this gathering is, it's bringing 2 families together to make one. And I really appreciate that. Okay? And so I guess now's the time I should make a toast, right? Okay. And so, would you please stand? I won't drink because I'm a little watery. To Lauren and Curtis. Oh, wait. To Lauren and Ofir.
This is always Curtis.
Curtis, come up here. You go to
Hold up, hang on.
To Lauren and Ofir, wishing you many, many years of happiness, much good fortune, good health, and maybe a few bundles of joy. All right? Okay, Ofir? All right. I toast, please.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And I